Yenuano Yeno, a bought a mine. Yenya, as I said, the import dependent economy. I be correct the idea by a crew. A big group of mine, a big group Yenuano Mamu pay to Mamu school, and saying, O man pay up more than free SHS. I am be prepared to school. Munye Jumayan. We come. The city, I find it city now. Yeah, and things now, and young found there and young one. Say, GUTA 4%, and no, my Anya, I want to alpha, your dollar, some honey, your cities, some. And yeah, 3 of what church say. Yeah, of course, we see a ma, young man, a man can walk. Paragraph 1 the reduction policy offers universal import rebate that only promotes importation, and this economic policy cannot consolidate our macro and micro economic gains. The importation of finished goods Anchor Juma any Efidi Juma. You know, Kokrana or Castle Krana Maba, Yukuma. A repeat and a reduction policy, you know. Yes, we can't be here, it's the same maybe the Yukum. As you say, you call after, you know, signing consider free trade. Yan Shet, Anchor Juma, Efidi Juma, Krana, one in Tim and Tetrima, and Efidi Juma, Greek businesses. It's a right. So good. Because of the extent of this policy, importation one. Be sorry, I know I can't remember who you come. Not like no say your mind. And I'm getting more to you. It's just for a handful of people who have the capacity to do importer.
Okay.
And the GUTA 4 just finish goods import. Because you know, importer, by a manner, we call it value addition. Yet the value come. The credit account. I'm a man for Okumania, Itumaya, taxes, light bills, think you can want. Now, say good for the you deal with Tana, the best of me. Which is any at my kind of catcher or my opinion, policy, you know, church for Kata, friends at university, company, for you, I share Kata, other trade associations, Kata, I young discussion between. I did it. Am I paying for graduation? But any animal year, it will lead to shortage of goods, it will lead to excessive price escalation. And then the fact, it's a Samara, Munchen, some million, the Mundium, which from cameras, and the animal which I'm cautious, important export for now, where are the companies backing the import and export for now? Omutiwa, executive secretary, Nukwana, Renandiano, EDD. But we are all over the nation. Remember, and tried and tested researchers. Yes, the AGI has lived over 60 years. We intend to build our country. Where is import and export? When did they come into being? Where are its members? You can say foreigners are more box imports. No, and I bet you know members. Let its members come up. But at least AGI members, you've seen so many of AGI members advocating for this with specialized products, from rice to any that you could think about. And yes, and yes, I will sell my man another way in one shot. We have lived over 60 years as an association. We don't wish to destroy our country. Why would this young man come around and be businessman?
I see, but look, the banter between money, more other colleagues, the GUTA and then the Importers and Exporters Association, it becoming a situation I am very worried. But concerns are women who are raising, are quite reasonable. So in this case, you per se, you promoting the growth of local industries. A buying share na tariffs are what they are to tomo so no one low one the kakra and no ne betimi aboa mo production no expansion near there at that time no and no so betimi aboa ama mo cost of production no ni nyina no akofom e betimi aboa ama Ghana for atomo ne ma no not necessarily say we need to do away of imported products and sana more to me grow the local companies as compared to the policies are buying crano implementing and I believe that's how the and also to asumupa
because as some churches say, a buying car say you ban import. Yes, also very imported. Now buying say tariffs are a common external tariff. In the whole ECOWAS region, we enjoy the same tariff rate. The only intervention buying the money benchmark fund value, or we call it the commissioner's value.
Okay.
Those days, no, nango for year the saying and the invoicing power. Until recently, I'm buying a paperless system, a correct system. Let's go back to the status quo. In the past, the return to the 50%. Yeah, you are at the same rate. I buy a share this paperless system. Let us all go back and enjoy the common rate. And number two, on the reverse, on the 6,129 products now, you can in the back and you know all the discounts.
Okay.
43 out of 6,000. Now 43, a banana say a industrialization. A farming, agriculture business, and the critical goods are a mine industrialization. Apart from that, all other goods go there and import. Even they are buying 43 or the purchase you can import. All the bar. Also, when the purchase price because you say, yeah, you do a group price. So the consumer will still get it at a cheaper price. There are options to the consumer.
No, but one more term says still no. Even say you compare the imported product to that produced in Ghana. One want to mean to as traders because momo the any board there. Even though imported ones number, but still now no momo the any price no.
Because ammonia discount, Now let me say the factors of production our money in terms of efficiency, higher than our local local because other factors is various labor costs, cost of capital, cost of electricity, our money is cheaper. But who do internet buying doing say discounts not the money, which also discounts never At that time, we have what we call the common external tariff. It started in 2019 across all the borders. Togo, Ghana, all the economic zone in the West African zone. And then the exchange rate factor was the variable that determined what price becomes depending on how strong your exchange rate is.
Okay.
Over the period, the discount values, local industries. Most local industries are laying off their workers because they cannot sustain the cost by virtue of the competition. I buy a discount.
Yeah, but that alone cannot be the component because one making mention of the other factors constituting the pricing of more products. So the cost of borrowing and the tariffs are mutual in terms of utilities. Any idea a key factors. And why do we base the argument basically on the discounter buying at the Womo and not considering the other
one? There is a fundamental one for purpose of investment. What is the capacity of our factories? Let me tell you, there is a correlation between capacity, demand, and policy consistency.
Okay.
Yeah, demand, correlation between demand, capacity, and policy consistency. Then you come and look at the factors of production. And when you go into the factors of production, cost of funds, it weakens the city. Who weakens city now? The next issue is that it pushes inflation. And the deficit of government becomes higher. That is what leads to policy rate. Bank of Ghana,
Yes, but no sir, now you because we at fault because more as industries and so raw materials are more produce money mano. Majority of it no imported. And to musum kroya no make it that kind of mistakes a bit to me.
More the industry, no, at least or the bar or the operating job. Apart from the number of jobs they create, the value chain, other businesses are get their portion of it. So I can give you an example. If you offer aluminium product bar or factory or your wage man factory, no, operating jobs apart from jobs, so distributors, so transportation for whom. So you see the value chain in there. There is far, that's what we call it, industrialization concept and our models. No? Beyond all other models, some of the strategies adapted is the import substitution model. So in other jurisdictions, when you do the import substitution model now, because of value addition, any job creation, any other related factors, even though you're cranium, in fact, you'll be about finish roofing sheet. Warehouse, no.
Yeah, but it doesn't still take away the fact that Emma city depreciate, right?
No, but even if you make the city depreciate, the value component in the value chain of the industry player, this government more taxes, more revenue, more job creation, and more social economic growth. As against one man who finishes, brings it, puts it in the shop, and sell and employ about 2 people. As against the factory person who employ 50 and above, which is better. So you've got to look at that distinction. We are all important. Some are adding value, some are not adding value. So we are taking the jobs in Thailand, in Hong Kong, in whatever, in China. Again, we are creating the jobs in Ghana. So when you weigh the two, though we all import, one does a pure value addition or economic impact against the one who is straight and just sells it. And if you go like that, you just say, Continental Free Trade, they are signing. They could make a warehouse. I see. So you can't make it to me. There must be balancing. And I actually say, okay, me buying all the products. Out of 6,129 products, let me just give 43. Now 43 media no say muntiasie. Now 43 so much what can I say? What of Faba to me to saying, they move into another business. But we believe that we must build our country. That is the priority.
Yes, but we Doc, we cannot also take away the fact that importation complemented the very things that we produce in this country, because then again the debate and the argument and it's meet the national demand. The entire country, for instance, a product or a commodity like ABR rice and as a poultry product, the companies are a year in charge of it. No, producing at that level, more capacity.
We have what we call the demand of the market as a correlation with the capacity of each factory or each market and the policy consistency attached to it. Capacity in capacity of Ghana, it is over 500,000 metric tons. You see a demand 800,000. And the 300,000 you can still import, but the consumer will decide which product to buy. So buy made in Ghana or made in China or made in Thailand. Until we are entering a Ministry of Trade over the years has encouraged the made in Ghana goods. Until assassin did that honor they are sharing mine. Almost a movie until Obianco Craniamana. Because they cannot sustain themselves. We're moving from peasant farming to commercial farming. We all import and have distinguished it. That in the importation, we all import, but some are adding value to the raw material. That is what we all should go through. We call it import substitution. It is good. Buying cars don't import.
Yes, but Doc, me too for one to see.
Oh, then it's all right. You proceed.
Okay. I was asking, more consider the rippling effect on the ordinary Ghanaian, because at the end of the day, no both parties.
That is what we are saying, that Uncle Juma and if Juma no, almost creating jobs. I'm the ordinary Ghanaian. And number 2, you deliver. Your family say, Walmart, your factory, the secretary of Cromina. We never done about it. And now, I say, that one year, almost on Ghana factories, the woman, almost. So GUTA cannot take responsibility. All the debts are in GUTA. We have people who are buying from our factories and are selling. But this was a handful of leadership of GUTA importers and see the people behind them. When see the international companies that almost farms for Thailand, in Malaysia, and up there are making the profit. And if you are talking about the common man, who is serving the common man's good? Industry is serving the common man's good by creating jobs for them, by making sure the farmers work, by making sure transportation work, labor work, and the chain continues. That's against what people is doing. Talk to your university professors. Talk to the intellectuals in the system. Let them analyze the economic model for you and let them tell you which is better. And I think other groups in Saka, said the AGI cannot end. And get them to prove. Some said get the habitat, go and get academia.
Okay.
Professors don't find the to the common consumer here cannot. Why the benefit? Is it the AGI statement or the GUTA statement? The GUTA statement is making profit for just a handful of maybe 20 companies that have been imported into the country. The rest is against us. And like I said, that is what the focus should be.
I see, but finally, before we back on, the Center for Economic and Finance Inequality Studies are making a research, and then they are telling us in terms of our exchange rate, by the end of 2022, the CD rate, will be 7 cedis 3 pesos to the dollar. And see, if these key policy makers factors, determine how the cost of production will be in a republic, why don't we turn attention to the government and the policy implementers and makers? So one no enye niema right. Said ye beya ebetimi aboa mo adwuma mo ye no.
If you go for the policy makers, you also go for the policy the actors who take advantage of the policy. And it's when you come into that space, such actors are even GUTA and AGI. And I've gone back to distinguish it to you that in the group of actors within that people, GUTA put your money on no AGI for part of the shape to give a value chain and it's a good thing of money. So you see, the drivers of that inflation that will lead to high cost of anything policy. What did he say? The exchange rate,
The exchange rate, yes.
Yeah, one of the drivers are people like GUTA who just go to import and come and sell directly on the market without value addition. Quite simple.
I see.
And you see, as any economist, they will tell you the two distinction. And we are not saying import is bad. That is not the case. If you are adding value, excellent. However, if you are not adding value and you are doing direct trading, the policy should encourage you to do backward integration. You know when you say backward integration in goods, gradually, you have resources in your country. Do backward integration and build capacity to export also to that country. No, most or young who say, yeah, I want you so that when they take advantage after the of some mind. So when we do the thorough analysis from that research group that is coming out, let them tell you the impact of GUTA's work and the impact of AGI on the exchange rate. Because you see, if the policymakers of the Bank of Ghana are controlling the exchange rate, exchange rate, and people like GUTA are claiming that we should open the country to flat country with only import. I can tell you, even the city will hate 10 cities. Because the import inflation coming by virtue of just importing directly without value addition and selling has consequences. It destroys our value chain and our various businesses in Ghana. And that will worsen the exchange rate factor. We cannot just do raw import finished goods, jobs for China, any look at the number of unemployment in the street. Look at the number of coming out of university, over 4,000 every year. Is it 400,000 every year? How do we take jobs for these people? So, for the little profit they make in their pocket and take care of their families, should it be a priority? And leaders should look beyond that.
But they equally employ people. They equally engage.
How many do they employ? How many shops he has? If you have 10 shops and it's averagely employing 5 people, times 10, that is 50. One factory is taking more than 50 employees. So do the comparative analysis. That's what we are saying. And go and see how much is even paying the workers in the factory. Most of them even don't pay PAY, they don't pay the various taxes. What is it for shops? And they are not regularized. That's what we call the informal sector. There's a lot of them there. As a result of the nature and transaction, how GUTA claims that open the country and let everybody import and let the dollar currency go to 10 cities. Asking whether that is correct. That's not the right way to go.
Okay. Marinda was said, "Don't cannot pay anyone that year." You ever saw about
university that I've been from. No one takes the money. Why they can't pray? That's what I said.
Very well. May I say,
and then number 2, go and ask TUC, the Union Congress, GCC, other well-tested organizations over 30 years in Ghana that will try to build this country. Don't be testing the model with 1 or 2 young men that will come up and they say they've organized associations and they are talking for everybody. Find out who is behind them. People are pushing the agenda for their little.
Yes, but Doc, are you now doubting the integrity of these entities? Because GUTA has been in the system for a very long time. Yes, the Importers and Exporters Association.
We are suggesting to you the leadership of GUTA's actions and actors should be put in question. Because their argument is not in the interest of nation building. Their interest is in importers. Is that what we need? Everybody is going for its own local interest. Where will this nation go to? So we are asking them, do the integrity test and move beyond them and see the actors behind them pushing their agenda. They have promoted from Malaysia, Singapore, China, financing them to do all this noise and create disruption in the country.
And that is a serious allegation on the part of GUTA.
Because their conduct and their action is unacceptable. You need a committee for business finance minister committee for sure they are more check. This is a commercial show before all kinds of bianca. Any insulting everybody. And you ask, is that how we negotiate as a businessman? We don't do that. This is questionable. So you should be finding out what is behind the scene.
All right.
And that's why we are concerned. Okay. And therefore we are calling tried and tested trade associations to come to the table and let's get these issues resolved.
Okay.
Where are their research based? Where is the scientific research analysis?
All right. I think Dr. Marina was here to pay anyone that Dr. Humphrey and I mean, I think a national president and the Association of Ghana Industries. Very interesting dynamics and conversation. I don't know, I have it. But